Here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Monday afternoon. Another edition of Knicks Weekly presented by Cuts Clothing. Go to cutsclothing.com and use our code KFTV for 20% off first. 20% off your first order. CP the franchise here. Special guest Anthony Donahue in the building. On today's show, it's as simple as this, man. How did the Knicks bounce back from the Mother's Day Massacre? Knicks get stomped out in Indy 121-89. Questions abound. Series tied 2-2 as we head back to the mothership, man. Back to the Garden. So let's talk about it. Call us up, 657-383-1509, or you could hit us up on the KFTV Discord. Let's get it in. Like, share, and subscribe. Another day, another edition of KnicksFanTV, man. And how you feeling, bro?
Little down about yesterday, but I'm also not down in the dumps. It was a horrible game. The game was over literally in the first 90 seconds.
Literally.
But the series, listen, we would love to be up 3-1. We would have loved to have swept the series. But the bottom line is that's not reality. I've said this a lot. And by the way, CP, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I said this throughout the playoffs. The playoffs are hard. We're not the 2001 Los Angeles Lakers where you're going to just not lose. They lost one game in that playoff, right? Yeah. The playoffs are hard. And I think a lot of maybe some casual fans and things like that were assuming that we would just be 8-0 after the first, 2 rounds. And that's not reality. Do I wish we were up 3-1? Of course. Did we miss a big opportunity on Friday night? Of course. But here we are, 2-2, Madison Square Garden. I mean, what's better than that? We have dreamed for these moments the last 20-plus years. Every year, all we're worried about is the ping pong balls. And half the times, we don't even have our draft picks.
Yeah.
So here we are, Game 5, Madison Square Garden, Knicks Pacers, series tied at 2. I love it.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, man. It's 2-2. You're back home. Yes, yesterday was not a good look, but I forgot which one of the Knicks said it was either Hart or DiVincenzo. It was like, listen, whether you lose by 30, you lose by 3, you still lost. And so, it is what it is. But look, you're 2-2. It's a best of 3 now in which you have 2 chances at home potentially to get this thing done. So let's see how they regroup. Did you look at Game 3 as a huge blunder there? Losing Game 3, came down to the Brunson shot. What you think about that?
Of course, absolutely. And I probably look at that more as a blunder now after the loss in Game 4. I mean, listen, the Knicks had a chance to win the game. They had the lead, a few minutes left. They didn't execute the pace. Listen, the Pacers were home. They had their crowd behind them. They got the win. Listen, it happens. It's playoff basketball. We got some wins where, the Sixers probably felt they should have won, or even game 1, that you asked the Pacers or their fans, they probably thought they should have won that basketball game. That said, yeah, it was a game we had in our hands. Credit to the Pacers. They came out with the win, obviously smacked us around Sunday. But, like I said, the CP, here we are. It stinks. And, you have to have a short memory, especially when you're a professional athlete. As fans, we can be in the barbershop and talk about, a game in 1994, but they can't. They have, and this Knicks team especially, they're over yesterday already. They're over it.
Yeah.
They're going to be ready to go on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden. The only thing that really does stink, and listen, nobody feels bad for any team. Every team has injuries. Every team is banged up. I feel we could get over losing Mitch. Love Mitch, but I feel we can get over that. I feel we can get over losing Bogdanovich, especially with Burks playing some good ball. And do I think we can win 2 of the next 3 games without OG Anunoby? I do. But boy, oh boy, losing OG Anunoby was like a kick to the you-know-what.
Yeah.
Because we can get over the other losses. The OG loss, oh, man, CP. And he was playing such great basketball, especially in Game 2 with the Garden. I mean, do I think we'll see OG again in this playoffs? I don't know. I have no clue what's going on inside that hamstring. Maybe if we get there, Game 1 of the ECF in Beantown. But I can't think about that right now. But the OG loss, that was a huge blow. But I still think this Knicks team will be ready to play tomorrow. I think Thibs will make an adjustment. I don't see Precious starting. I think he'll probably go with McBride starting, bring Precious off the bench. But this Knicks team's going to be ready to go. And this Knicks team, without OG and without Randall, obviously, but without Randall now since late January, has won some big games.
Yeah.
You look at that West Coast trip, we won some big games there. Almost beat OKC at the Garden. So this Knicks team can win without OG, without Randall, and I expect the Knicks to win tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden.
Let's go. 26-5 with OG, man. Such an
Yeah,
untimely
that's
loss,
just
bro.
insanity. It's insanity.
Insane. Insane.
Has there ever been a more perfect piece for a basketball team? Maybe not the best piece, but perfect piece. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Not on this team. I mean, have you seen it? Like, who was the last guy that you felt like, that Knicks
on the
season
Knicks, like in basketball, like a piece that
on the Knicks?
perfect.
Was it Spree? I mean, Spree didn't come out perfect.
Spree was a great piece, but the Knicks were good the year before. The Knicks were, almost a conference finals team the year before. The Knicks weren't that good, and then you get in jail, and then you bring in OG. But OG is the perfect. I don't want to say complimentary because he's better than a complimentary player. Yeah. But boy, he just complements everything for this team, man. Yeah. It's really incredible, and especially when he's knocking down the shot.
Right. Are you, because now, of course, when you lose and the impact of the injury becomes more magnified, people are second guessing. Should we pay this guy? He's injury prone. Where do you stand on that right now?
I think you got to pay him. I think sometimes injuries are luck, and some players do have more than others. Some players could be potentially tougher than others. I think Jalen Brunson might be one of the toughest guys to ever wear a Knicks jersey. I feel unless he gets his head chopped off, he's playing, which is incredible. When he goes to the locker room, he's coming back out. But I still think OG Anunoby is a dog on the basketball court. Is he maybe a little bit more fragile, potentially? But I think you still have to pay him, and we know how good this team can be with a healthy OG Anunoby, Julius Randle. Obviously, that's not happening this year with Julius Randle. But here we are. We're still in a great position. And if OG Anunoby comes back and we survive this series, we can absolutely compete with the winner of the Celtics-Cavs series, most likely the Celtics.
Yeah, I look at it as, yes, the injury risk is there, but it's kind of a risk you have to take. He's that good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's that good. It's like, where are you going to get that type of impact and production from the wing spot? They don't have time based on where this team is and Brunson's prowess now and his ascension as a superstar. They don't have time to just draft and develop the next wing, the next Kawhi Leonard. And you don't know if you're going to get that guy. The time is right now. And so it's going to be, hey, sign the contract and cross your fingers, close your eyes, and just hope for good things, man.
And you say the time is now. Hopefully the time is ready where his hammy is good to go. Obviously, I don't expect him to play tomorrow. Maybe Friday if there's a Game 7 or if there's a Game 1 of the ECF. Like I said, I don't know how bad it is. Obviously, we're probably all expecting the worst, but he did travel the team to Indiana. That's probably somewhat of a good sign. Yeah. But you also probably can't rush back an injury like that. But like I said, we are home tomorrow night. We're in a great situation. Do I wish we were up 3-1 going to close it out? Of course, man. Who wouldn't? But this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is it won't be beautiful walking out of the Garden losing them all. Yeah. But right now, this is beautiful. This is
good spot.
How many times the last 23 years, 19 of them were not even in the playoffs. Yeah. You're just sitting home. We both love basketball, so we're watching, and you think, man, I would love to be in a game in this pressure situation right now.
True.
And here we are. I understand if you're down about Sunday. I understand if you're still down about Friday. I am too. But here we are, man. This is awesome. This is great. I cannot wait for tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. I can't wait.
How much are you worried about? Because I'm worried. I'm worried about number 11, man. Because I feel like if he can't go, none of this is possible.
Well, he's gonna play,
right? I mean, go. When I mean go, like be himself. Like we need 30 plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair concern. You watched him yesterday. It seemed like when he was running, he was okay, but all the shots were short, and that's a worry. That's worry. Sometimes you're just off. Sometimes you're just tired. And it makes sense that the Knicks all look tired yesterday, and that's understandable. They've been through a lot physically, emotionally. If Jalen plays, I expect a big game from Jalen tomorrow. I really do. Am I a little concerned? Of course. Like I said, it's the playoffs. We're not going 16-0. So, of course, I'm a little concerned for Jalen Brunson, but I'm concerned for the whole team. But when I say concerned, I mean that in almost a positive way. Like, you got to be – it's the playoffs. It's a huge game. Could determine the series. Obviously, you could easily lose tomorrow and still win the series. But, yeah, of course, he didn't look great yesterday. But this is Jalen Brunson. We've seen this before. Where maybe you count him out a little bit, and the man drops 45.
True. You just never know.
It's a fair concern. He's never going to complain about it, which I love. I love athletes that are like that. We've seen that a lot. Derek Jeter was a guy like that. I mean, Jalen. I was saying this to a friend the other day, CP. I mean, you think that Derek Jeter gave Jalen Brunson, New York and media training, because, I mean, Jalen Brunson is absolutely perfect with everything he says to the media. And same with Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter was a little hurt, and, a writer asked him, he was like, I'm playing.
True.
The same with Jalen Brunson. You got to love that.
Yeah. Made a steal, man. He's got that mentality of the 90s. They just don't make him like that anymore. But shout out to his pops and his family. That type of those values that you just, again, you don't see that in everybody. And that's why he's tailor-made. He's tailor-made for this city. And they did have the video soundbite from last night's game. I don't know what Siakam said to him, but somebody interpreted his words to Siakam saying it's going to be a long family show series. It's going to be a long series. So did they poke the bear? We will just have to wait and see, man. But salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP and Anthony in the building. Call us up, 657-383-1509. Or you can hit us up on the KFTV Discord. Knicks Weekly presented by Cuts Clothing. Go to cutsclothing.com. Use our code KFTV for 20% off your first order. Okay, Ant. Here was the other, not controversial, but a big topic, especially when I did post-game yesterday, and it spilled over into the national media.
The famous M word.
The famous M word. The famous M word. So shout out to our guys, Alan Hahn and the wonderful, talented Monica McNutt, who represent us well on ESPN's Get Up. They were asked to talk about the M word, and here is what they had to say. Is Thibs to blame here for all these injuries and these guys being worn out? Here we go.
I'm old enough to remember when we had to put a 65-game limit in for awards. Oh, and so now we're like, oh, guys are playing too much. Rah, rah, rah. Like, what do y'all want? You know what I mean? And I think you also have to bear in mind, it's easy to look at the last two games in Indianapolis and say, why wasn't Alec Burks and Precious Achiuwa in the rotation? To Perk's point, if you hoop it, Thibs is going to leave you out there. Alec Burks had a great game in Sacramento. Other than that, in a Knicks jersey, he had struggled to be the prolific three-point shooter that he had been identified as. So 17 points in the last two games is fantastic. But down the backstretch of the regular season, it was like 6.5. When you are not in the rotation, you have a limited amount of time to make a positive impression. Beyond that, none of the guys that are playing minutes are complaining about their minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein finna get paid. Josh Hart is built to play basketball. Jalen Brunson loves to play basketball. The same of Dante DiVincenzo. And I know earlier, Wendy, you kind of tossed out the overuse thing when it comes to OG Anunoby. I think his history comes into play. And yes, he had been over a 4-game stretch where he had played the most minutes I think we'd seen to this point in his career. But also, that was a little bit of a freak injury. And I have a hard time with overuse for a guy that had missed a month down the stretch of the regular season after he got traded. It's the playoffs. You play. And when he's on the floor, this team has won.
Whoa. Monica dropping bars. Throw some fives in the chat for Monica McNutt. She's not here, but we're going to represent Monica McNutt because
always rep for Monica.
She shredded it. One of the best. Absolutely shredded it. Your thoughts, bro?
I mean, I agree with Monica. I've never been a professional athlete, so I really don't officially know how much minutes factor. But if you look at this whole season, Thibs wasn't overplaying anybody. The injuries happened, and some guys had to play more. The Knicks fans that want other guys to play, no disrespect to Charlie Brown or any of these other guys. Do you want these guys to play, or Thibs had to do what he had to do? And it's the playoffs. How many teams in the NBA have a 10 or 11-man rotation in the playoffs? It's very rare. And every injury, unfortunately, were just injuries that sometimes happen when you play the game of basketball. Boyan falls on Batum, falls on Boyan. Mitchell Robinson, he's had a lot of injuries over the years, but it's not like Mitchell Robinson's playing 40 minutes a game. Julius Randle flies through the air and hurts his shoulder. That's something I did in high school. Not because I played too many minutes, because my shoulder got messed up. It happened. It sucks. No one's saying it doesn't suck. OG Anunoby, I was at the game. I was sitting close to the court for game 2. I don't think OG, when he made that move and hurt his hammy and I saw it, I don't think he pulled his hammy because he played too many minutes. I think it was because it was a basketball injury. They stink. It's part of basketball. It's part of sports. It does stink. And I always feel that Thibs got a bad rap because of Derrick Rose. And I love Derrick Rose, one of my all-time favorite players. The way Derrick Rose played basketball, unfortunately, an injury like that probably was going to happen. I don't mean that in a bad way. It probably was. But he plays guys hard. But other than Josh has been definitely playing 48 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. But I just hate, and I'm a big fan of someone. I'm a big fan of Thibs. I got to know his family. I really love the guy. And when I say this guy lives and breathes basketball, I'm sure all NBA coaches do, but Thibs really does. So it hurts my heart when I see him get killed. Like, none of our guys got hurt because of Thibs. That's absolutely asinine. And then let's say he played some more guys. Let's say, Charlie Brown got some more minutes, or maybe he played, played Jericho Sims some more minutes. Guess where we'd be right now, CP? Cancun.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you want him to do?
Yeah.
If everybody was healthy, he probably would have a 10-man rotation. But unfortunately, that's not what happened.
I'm with you 100%. And Monica, it's part of the game and the circumstances. These are the cards that he's dealt right now. I mean, going into it, before Julius Randle goes down, you bring in OG Anunoby, you make the Burks and Bogdanovich trade. You literally have 11 potential players that you can rotate in a playoff and be deep. Right, you're
part of playing sports. It stinks,
right?
But it's one of the shitty things about sports,
right? And so now the idea, I had a caller yesterday say, well, the bench guys showed a lot of energy there in garbage time. We should have been playing them earlier, starting them. I mean, come on, man. The idea that Diakate and God bless him, Daquan Jeffries, I've been wearing out his name because he's the only guy I know that's left on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the guys you're left with when you lose 4 impact players in your rotation, bro.
Listen, I think one thing we've learned as fans, and CP, you and I are the same age, fans are always going to criticize, no matter, they're going to criticize the players, the front office, the coaches. And I remember, I always tell this story, one of the first, I was at a Knicks game one time around 1999. It was December of 99. I was actually versus the Raptors. And I was sitting up with the 400s, and I didn't listen to a ton of sports talk radio at the time, although my diehard fandom was still 100%, because I was actually living 3 hours from the city. And there was a group of guys sitting right behind me, and they were just bashing Van Gundy the whole game. And I'm like, what? Like, we were in the finals last year. We're, top 3 in the East right now. We got a great game versus the Raptors. We actually won that game on a Patrick Ewing jump shot. And that was one of the first times I really heard fans bash a coach. But at that time, we were in the finals a few months ago, and that year we got to the conference finals. So it's always been a thing. Now, obviously, we've had some coaches over the years that probably deserve some bashing. But it's always been a thing, and it's even when you're winning, for some reason, fans, not all fans, but some fans, just like they always hate the coach. I don't understand. There's probably Yankee fans that hated Joe Torre. I never understood that. Yeah,
I didn't get it, man. And the Burks thing, and shout out my guy Big Money Burks, because he's stepping up when they need him to. The freshest
tried him.
Freshest legs.
After the trade, if Burks, and I'm a big Burks guy too.
Yeah.
After the trade, if Burks was on the middle of the ocean, he couldn't hit water.
Exactly.
He had no choice but to sit him.
Exactly. And McBride was on the ascension. I was completely on board with that.
This is great.
He was great. The way Burks was playing, he deserved no chances in this rotation. He was in there. He was just gunning. He was playing 1-on-5, just bombing away. Right. These last 2 games in Indy.
He was
building a brick house. But these last 2 games in Indy, he's getting everything in the flow of the offense. When they need him to ISO and break it down, he's getting efficient buckets. He's drawing fouls. He's getting to the free throw line and hitting them, something that the Knicks on a whole do not do under Thibs. They just never hit free throws. They're always around 70-something%. So right now, he's giving them what they need. I actually think they're going to need to go to him a little bit more in Game 5. You're going to have to let AB just go, man, because he's probably not going to be back next year. Let it fly. Empty the clip. Big money, man. A little
more of AB tomorrow. I actually expect Jalen Brunson to basically be Jalen Brunson tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked if you see a lot more Deuce McBride. Remember that game in Golden State where did Deuce play all 48?
Probably close to it. Yeah.
I suspect we might see something like that tomorrow where you see a lot of Deuce and Alec as well. But it's all hands on deck, and and hopefully we get that win, and just one game at a time. I'm not really with the crowd that's like, we win game 1 and I'm chanting Knicks in 4. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
One game, I can't even think about Friday. One game at a time. Let's get this win tomorrow. I know the team's going to be ready. The Pacers are going to be ready. Everyone's going to be ready.
Let's go.
All sports world all eyes are on Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Let's get to it, man. Bimmer Jazz on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Bimmer Jazz. Bimmer Jazz, going once.
Yo, you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yo, Beamer Jazz, man. Name is Jazz from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm
Yes,
gonna keep
sir.
it PG this time. No sailor talk.
Okay. No doubt.
All right. Hey, man. So I think there's two X factors here, right? I look at it on the Pacers side. I see T.J. McConnell. On the Knicks side, I see Deuce McBride. And here's where the conflict lies. They're both playing about 20 minutes a game each. The effects of TJ on the game, even when he's not scoring. So I don't think he really scored like game 2. He didn't really have like a big effect in a couple of those games. But game 1, he had a huge game. Double figures assists, double figure points. Game 3, even though they didn't win it. Game 3 when they won it, double figure points. I think he had double figure assists. Game 4, I get it was a blowout, but he's still contributing. And then on top of that, on the defensive end, he is bullying JB. I get it. JB is hobbled, right? He's running around there on one foot, probably on no feet right now, right? Because he got his ankle twisted game 4. But TJ is bullying him, man.
Yeah.
Nobody on the Knicks is countering that. Deuce was an X factor in the Philly series, in my opinion, right? Because every time he came out on the floor, he was hitting his shots, getting in a little mid-range jumper. He was hitting his threes. Shooting at like 40% clip. This series, he's at like 20-something% from 2 and from 3, right? From the field. He's ineffective. He's not providing that same level of effort off the bench that he provided in that first series for us against Philly. Deuce McBride needs to step up, man. Like, we need him to play at a level of a, solidified backup off the bench. And really now that we are at the level that we're at with, real next man up or whatever you want to say, the injuries we got.
Yeah.
I need him to be a starter, man. I need him to put up solid numbers.
Well,
we need to be able to rely on Deuce, man. Deuce has really big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And it's one of Brunson's shoes, since Brunson can't wear that shoe since he's hobbled.
Well, but see, that's the issue. That's the big issue, is that a lot of these guys after Brunson have to punch above their weight class. And the big hole that was left when you traded quickly was a consistent or capable playmaker to back up Brunson. And they brought in Burks to try to help for that. He didn't do it. He was just looking for himself. Deuce was up and down from a playmaker standpoint. But conversely, like you said with McConnell, 12-6 right now off the bench. So he's playmaking when Halliburton's not out there. He's forcing the issues, getting those paint touches, kicking it out, getting the Pacers those threes. And for the Knicks, they're still trying to figure that out. They don't really have that go-to option off the bench to play make.
Yeah, and I think, and here's another theory in my head, right? So normally we like to bring in Deuce when McConnell comes in, right? McConnell comes in, D's up Jalen for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll throw Deuce out there to try to counteract the McConnell effect. But Deuce has been ineffective on the defensive end as well.
Yeah,
he
been
can't
cooking
keep
him.
McConnell.
He's been cooking him. McConnell's been cooking everybody. He's been cooking Deuce and
Brunson.
Brunson.
Everybody on our team. Every single
McConnell,
person throwing in front of McConnell, he's been crossing him up.
Yeah,
I
man.
hate that little schoolyard crossover he's got.
Killing him, man.
Everybody in the dust, and it just penetrating. I need
Br-
Deuce. I think it starts with Deuce performing better on the defensive end, and hopefully that gives him some confidence on the offensive end to not feel like I need to produce somewhere. I think Deuce needs to fall back on what got him this job in New York, which was I'm gonna just play hard-nosed defense and not let this guy penetrate and score.
True indeed, man. Appreciate the call, man. I'm just getting Ant's takes in there. We got a lot of calls we want to rotate in here.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I agree to what he said. I don't think Deuce is not giving effort, by the way, and we could use Deuce to hit some shots. He hit a lot of shots versus the Sixers, especially in that game 1 at the Garden. So, yes, I think Deuce is going to play many more minutes tomorrow night, and I would like to see Deuce make some more shots because he's very key with that 3.
Right, because,
TJ is just annoying ever since that buzzer beater against Melo when he was with the Sixers back in 2017.
Yeah. And Deuce McBride in his 4 games, 7.5 points, 1 rebound, 1.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists.
It's a big drop. It's a big drop.
Big drop.
No doubt.
It's a big drop. And so I think also when Brunson's ineffective, and not only that, Hart, who's your second best playmaker, reliable playmaker, he's ineffective. You're compounding the issues. You're not going to find too many areas where you have an advantage here in these games. You're just going to be hard pressed. So for McBride, he's having a tough time with McConnell and also not getting the shots down. But as you said, he could see some major minutes here. And then I'm going to be interested to see how do they start things off, because it's the Siakam matchup, him being able to shoot over Josh Hart and get easy offense there. Yep. Does that mean that they go to Precious? So how they handle that Precious Deuce rotation defensively is going to be very interesting to see how Thibs handles that for sure. Okay, we're going to load up some more on the Discord. I see some people on the phones as well. CP the franchise, Anthony Donahue on the ones and twos, 561 area code. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
What's up, CP? Anthony, this is Darren from Florida, courtesy of Brooklyn.
Yes, sir. What's good, my guy? How you feeling? Good, man.
What's up, Darren?
All right. Hey, how you doing, man? How am I feeling? All these guys know I'm a diehard Knicks fan. They always ask me how I'm feeling. I'm telling them I'm nervous. If we're up 3-1, 2-2, whatever it is, I'm always nervous until the series is won. But I'm going to tell you,
I think
we can still win Game 5, how we are constructed. Basketball is a game of momentum, right? And confidence. We were up 2-0, Game 3, in the fourth quarter up 9. Think how much confidence and momentum we had, and think how little Indiana had. They found a way to pull it out. They blow us out yesterday, and now they got the confidence and momentum. All we got to do is win tomorrow somehow, and we're going to take back some of that momentum, get our confidence back, and if we start out Game 6 tight and close, they're going to feel the pressure. And if worse come to worse, we still have Game 7 at home. But we need to win tonight. I need JB to put up 30, and someone has to be his sidekick, whether it's Burks, Deuce, or Dante. And I would start, like Anthony said, I would start Deuce. We need more spacing to start off the game. They're not covering Precious. We need to start off good tomorrow. So I'm starting McBride. He can't cover TJ, but maybe he could do a better job on Hallie, because we need to play physical with Hallie. He's getting whatever he wants. Josh Hart, tough matchup on Siakam, but I'm going to live with Siakam down low for now in the beginning. We got to stop Hallie, and we're going to get this win tomorrow, fellas. Let's go.
And I think it's important to get off to a good start tomorrow night, because I want that crowd into it, because I also think tomorrow night's crowd could potentially be a nervous crowd also. Yeah. So you don't want to fall behind early. You want to. I don't expect to be up by 30 in the first quarter, but you want to come out guns blazing, get that Garden crowd, loud, and keep getting it loud, because you don't want that crowd nervous, which could be if you fall behind early.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You could have that nervous crowd, when people are moaning and groaning at the missed shots. We've been there, we've heard it, so you want to make sure that the crowd is in it, the defense chants early. You're going to be there, and I might not be there, so you got to spark it. You know what I mean? You got to spark it with the towels and everything, man.
I'll be there. I'll be ready. I'll be down there at 4 o'clock. I'll be ready to go. I wish the game was right now, but I think the players probably need to rest a little bit more than me.
Anybody going to the Garden, no sitting down. This is the playoffs. Up with your towels, waving the entire 48, man. No sitting down at the Garden, man. We got to get everybody up, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up on Free Boys. CP Anthony Donahue in the building. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D is in the chat. Says, what up, CP and Anthony. Salute to the OG, man. Salute to all of our franchise channel members. If you are a franchise channel member, go ahead and throw a custom emoji in the chat. We'll shout you guys out. Also, if you guys are on the grind, lunchtime grind, throw a hashtag grind in the chat. We'll shout you guys out as well. Okay, 646, what's your name? Where you calling in from? 646.
What's good, brother?
Good, man.
What's good, brother? It's me, Nicky, calling from Connecticut.
Okay.
Listen, I want some food for thought on this, because I know everybody's so far chiming in about what should happen and, or what's going to happen or what we hoping for. And, I'm proud of my Knicks no matter what the circumstances may be. And, I got love for you guys too, man. The way you guys cover the Knicks, it's like no holds barred, just straight to the point, straight to the gutter, keep it 100. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you a question. Let's go back in time just a little bit, because obviously a lot of this that's going on right now is a result of that Pacers game. Let's go back in time to the play-in series when it was the Pacers versus Miami. What did you had wished because of the circumstances?
Wait, time out.
Yeah. So wait.
That we played Miami.
Hello, wait. Reset that thought. Reset that thought.
Zach Morris.
No problem. So basically, going back again. Instead of playing the Pacers, do you wish that we should have played Miami instead? We would have played Miami instead. Because not for nothing, the reason why we're in this position is because of that Pacers series, man. They were playing hard to the grit. Sometimes a little illegal, if you ask me, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And everything we're facing right now through the injuries and all of the above and up to this point, and even that extra game that we blew that we know we should have won, and I blame that extra game that we had to play the Pacers on Thibs. Everything is just a result of that series and how great.
Are you talking about the Sixers? You're talking about the Sixers, not the Pacers.
No, sorry, Sixers. I'm talking about the Sixers.
But I think,
Okay.
CP, I think what he's saying is
pick that path of Miami.
I got you. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish the thought.
I think what he's saying is he's kind of wishing we lost that last regular season game, 149 games, got the 3 seed, and then maybe you have a different matchup in the first round. But I don't know. You can't live your life like that.
Look at it
what if we got here's the thing too. What if we got the 3 seed and then the Bucks win, and now you don't have you can't live your life like that.
No.
In any way of life, you always got to go for the best. We won that last game. We got our 50th win. I get your point, and also the Sixers beat Miami, which led them to the 7 seeds to play us.
Yeah.
Also, you can't predict Jimmy Butler getting hurt. What if Jimmy Butler doesn't get hurt and the Heat beat the Sixers, and then we face Miami, and then we lose in 7? Like, I'm not saying we would.
Yeah.
I'm just
You drive yourself crazy with the what ifs,
That's
man.
what it's like being a sports fan or in life. You're in a relationship. I wish I just didn't do that one night. I'd still be with her, but still, but you can't. Unfortunately, I get the point. But basketball is funny. You could have played Miami and tripped down something at the airport.
Correct.
You can't.
You can't play.
I get the point, but you can't.
You can't do that, man. And they're making ketchup out of my man in the chat. Call back anytime, man. But that wasn't your best work. You gotta call back.
Yeah, that was.
Man. So salute, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys, CP.
Just in general, life lesson here on KnicksFanTV. You just can't live your life like that.
You can't. You just can't, man. Can't, man. What else we got?
Always go for the best.
We got our guy DJ Eric L Beats in the chat. Salute to Eric L Beats, man, the resident KFTV DJ. We will be back at it on Tuesday at the watch party, man, at Slate, 54 West 21st Street. Knicks versus Pacers, Game 5 watch party, man. Make sure that you guys are pulling up. We will be having a cracking, man, quarterly giveaways, live music. Well, not live music, live game audio, and then Eric L Beats with the soundtrack during the timeouts. And so
fun
make sure
fact
you guys
about
come
Slate, I watched. Well, I wasn't with him, but I was at a party at Slate, Game 7, Lakers Celtics, 2010. I'm at this party, and there's about 100 people there. It was like a private event type thing that my man Edgar Burgos threw. And all of a sudden, I'm chilling, and Edgar's like, "Yo, Ant, look to your right." Yo, it was the big fella.
Wow.
It was about the second. And I watched the whole game because the big fella didn't move. He just stayed in his spot.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole game next to the big fella.
Bro, Slate.
At Slate, 2010.
Yeah.
And then what was really cool is that, DJ Clue was right there, too.
Shout out to
Ron
Clue.
Artest hit that big 3. He was like, Queensbridge, motherfucker, Queensbridge. And I was way younger, so I'm like, this is my life right now. This is pretty cool. And I got to chat with Pat. I didn't ask for a picture or nothing.
Yeah.
Pat, but it was super cool though.
Yeah, man. Slate is still holding it down, and that was way back when. And so we kind of took it back to that essence during the Game 3 watch party, man. Starberry was in there going crazy. I was in there going crazy. Shout out John Lobriel. He came through from Dubai. So shout out to John Lobriel and everybody that attended, man. Everybody had a great time despite the loss.
Amazing.
And that's what we try to do, man. Salute to. Oh, by the way, so get your tickets for the Game 5 watch party, KFTVWatch.com. Go to KFTVWatch.com to get your tickets for tomorrow's watch party. We will open the doors up at 6, and I will see you guys there, man. Salute to Courtney J, franchise channel member, official Mark Anthony. He's on the grind, man. Salute to Hilton McKenzie. How we doing? D-Block 1755, always in here. My 2 cents, always in here. Daniel Bosa-Jor, good to see you in here, man. K-Dot. Andres De La Rosa, salute, man. Dimitri. John Talento, LaShawn Paul, salute to Lash, my cousin in here. Got you open. Scott Novak, salute, man. Salute to everybody in here, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Okay, back to the phones. We'll take a couple more. 602, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
CP, what's going on? My name is Kyle. I'm calling from, I'm actually out in Indy right now. I'm about to head back to Phoenix.
Okay.
Man.
Kyle, do me a favor, man, because there's bad static coming from the phone lines. We had the same issue last time. If it's possible that you can call in on the Discord, call back. It's only that it's just not good audio right now, so I can't hold the call. I want to hear what he has to say, but try to call in on the Discord. People at home, we got to get rid of the phones. We've been saying it for a while. We do have to get rid of the phones. I know a lot of people are more comfortable calling in than the Discord, but you got to get comfortable with the Discord, man. It's much clearer. It's HD audio, and you have the benefit of 24/7 group chat. It's a group chat on steroids going on in there. So make sure you guys are jumping in on the Discord, because sometimes the phones are either down or they're just acting up, and they are right now. Apologies on that. Okay, to the Discord we go. M, go ahead and unmute your mic. I don't see the name, but M, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good. Appreciate you, CP, Anthony, for everything y'all do.
Appreciate it.
What's going on? How are you?
Even though I was disgusted by that terrible performance we put out there in Game 4, I actually think that was the best way for us to lose. I mean, it forced Thibs to rest our players, which I think they needed. I mean, it was inevitable that one of these games we were just going to have no effort just because of the amount of minutes they've been playing. So even though I wasn't happy about the loss, I think that's the best way we could have lost. Now, we had a team-only meeting, from what I hear.
Against that point, by the way.
The Villanova 3 are going to come out next game like on steroids, on fire, man. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Let's go.
If I had one critique and one criticism of Thibs, I know everybody's talking about the minutes and the load and stuff like that. My main issue with him is that he makes it basically illegal for himself to expose matchups if it's a guy outside of his rotation. I thought that there were certain situations where Precious maybe could have exposed Embiid a little bit more in that Philly series because Mitch was hobbling around. But even if we had the full 11 men that we have without injury, he still would kind of limit himself to 7 or 8. And let's say, for example, when Philly took advantage of the Buddy Hield game, for example, Thibs, that would never happen on his team because he just doesn't allow himself to play anybody outside of that rotation, even if it could expose a certain matchup. So I feel like Burks, I've been wanting Burks, even though he did end the regular season bad. Yeah. I felt like there's certain matchups he could probably expose Precious to. Yeah. And those guys, just would never. My biggest critique is that he just makes him he makes it impossible for him to play anybody outside of that rotation, regardless of what's going on. So I wish he would just be a little more flexible and a little more willing to try to play another player outside of rotation. That's my biggest critique. But I still got hope to win the series, and I think we're gonna take care of game 5 at home. Okay, and then I'll go back on the road, end it out. So.
All right, there you go, man. Appreciate the call. I mean, one thing he's forgetting is that Buddy Hield was in the Sixers rotation. They took him out of there because he sucked.
Yeah, they took him out
because he was dreadful in 1 and 2, so it wasn't like a surprise.
He was playing like trash.
He was playing like trash.
Alec Burks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if we had in a perfect world, everybody's healthy from Jalen Brunson to Mitchell Robinson to Julius to Boyan. Yeah, I think the rotation would probably be between 8 and 9, and maybe he would experiment here and there in the playoffs. But unfortunately, there's really right now, or even in the Philly series, I mean, who are you really experimenting with?
Yeah,
I
think it's just people looking for something that I don't think is necessarily there, man. So anyway, LD on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic, LD.
You hear me?
Loud and clear. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
So I got a quick question, and this is just a question. This is not specifically about the players exactly, just the play style. Mm-hmm. We have the same roster, same injuries, same everything, right? Mm-hmm. I switch out Jalen Brunson with New Orleans CP3. What do you think our chances are? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
it's a fine barroom conversation. I didn't see that one coming.
I'm really asking this question, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
CP3, New Orleans.
Wait, New Orleans
Jalen
CP3
Brunson.
like 2008.
Yeah.
Yes, the prime CP3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whose chances? What chances do you like better? As constructed with Jalen Brunson, the same roster, same depleted roster, or a CP3 from New Orleans?
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
For this roster, I'd probably say Jalen because he scores more and we need his scoring. Where CP is definitely a better passer. There's no doubt about that. That's not an insult to Jalen Brunson. Chris Paul is an all-time great pure point guard. We need Jalen Brunson scoring, but definitely fun barroom conversation.
Go ahead, LD.
Okay, so what he just said is fair. That CP is a legendary passer. But what a lot of people miss is that CP3 is also one of the better scorers in the history of the game. He can score with the best of them. He just chooses to pass. Same thing with Steve Nash. Here's why I'm bringing this up. Because Tom Thibodeau's legacy is no longer him being blamed for injuries. It is now becoming, how is that injury his fault? To tag on to what the man just said, the earlier caller, you proved this point by saying Buddy Hield was trash and he was taken out of the rotation. But because the coach saw maybe we could use this exploit, he put him back into the rotation. And that the guy who just called said Tom Thibodeau is too stubborn to at least try certain things. And the reason why I bring up the CP3 thing is because we can get away with the depth that we have right now with Jalen Brunson making $24 million. We're about to invest $300 million in Jalen Brunson. And we're already starting to see those tweaks and those bumps in the knees. And the thing I've come to realize about my Knicks, hold on.
Don't go there. Well, he started to break down.
Hang on, LD, go ahead and finish your point. Finish your point, then we'll get to Anthony. Go ahead.
What I've started to realize about Knicks fandom is we are so addicted to ISO scorers, we forget that, especially in this day and age, the game is no longer about one person saving you. Of course, this year we did really, really well when everybody was on the roster. But it goes back to Tom Thibodeau. How is that his fault? When we're up 20 points and Julius Randle's still in the game with 4 minutes to go, and you keep seeing all these trends. What's his name? OG Anunoby, injured. He has his history, but again, maybe it's not Tom Thibodeau's fault. But if you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, the most injured team in the league, and we have the best depth. But this keeps happening and happening and happening again throughout his history.
Okay. All right, let me let it get his point in here because we got a couple calls in here. Go ahead.
Other than Derrick Rose in 2012, what other major injury did Thibs have? What other career did Thibs ruin? If anything, Thibs made guys better. Thibs had Joakim Noah, for crying out loud, in top 5 for MVP one season. I mean, what career did Thibs kill? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm not. You want to say he could be a little bit more experimental? Sure, I'll give you that. He's stubborn, but most coaches are. Pat Riley's stubborn. Everybody's stubborn, But what career did Thibs kill? Maybe he gets guys paid, and guys become better with Thibs. I don't understand. I'm really confused. And if you talk to any NBA player, former or now, every player will tell you no one's 100% in May.
Yeah.
So the fact that my man really said we're starting to see the breakdown of Jalen Brunson, that was crazy and absolutely asinine.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, look, I said it again. I say it again. They have to do. Everybody's got to do more. Like, we're trying to compensate here for the loss of an all-NBA All-Star player in Julius Randle.
So timeout. And Julius, I hate to bring this up again. We was 5 minutes left in the game. We were up 17. He drove to the basket, had a freak injury, and most coaches in the NBA, I'd probably say 98%, if they were up 17 with 5 minutes left, probably still have their main guys.
Miami did.
Yeah, Miami did too. And also, I think 2 minutes before that, the lead was like 8 or 10. So it's not like we were up 17 the whole fourth quarter. I think going into the fourth quarter, it was like a 2-point game, and then we built the lead up. So it's not like we were holding this lead. We built the lead to 17, and Randle had a freak injury. Bojan Bogdanovic, was he playing 45 minutes a game? If anything, Bojan should have played more.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And I guess I am a fan of Thibs. I love the guy, and some of the criticism is just not fair. You want to say he should experiment some more, maybe run some cooler plays? Fine, I'll give you that. But this injury thing and the minutes thing, every good player plays their guys. Like, I don't. Does Jason Tatum play 28 minutes a game? Does Jalen Brown play 28 minutes a game? Does Jokic play 28? No. I gotta stick up for my guy. I hate it. It's just not fair.
Unreal, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boy, CP Anthony Donahue, on the ones and twos. Knicks Weekly, presented by Cuts Clothing. Fellas in the chat, man, if you guys have not been exposed to Cuts Clothing, go ahead and check them out, man. High quality, premium goods, man, from the t-shirts to the polos to the khaki shorts. They got joggers, very well trimmed and tailor-made for your body shape, man. Go ahead and check them out at cutsclothing.com. Use our promo code KFTV for 20% off your first order. That's cutsclothing.com. Use our code KFTV for 20% off your first order. Well, shout out to our guys at Cuts. All right, we're going to take a couple more and then wrap. I'm starving, man. Then I gotta send out more merch. I gotta send the merch out. Tom from
The
Huntington.
grind don't stop,
The
brother.
grind does not stop, man. Tom from Huntington, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. The floor is yours.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. Shout out to you, the wonderful people that follow this amazing podcast.
Yes, sir.
Just want to say it's been a while. Rapid Fire King had to call in really quick. I'm still crying over that game that I watched yesterday. The thing I think everyone is missing is that we have to figure out a way to, kidnap this TJ McCullough, a.k.a. Michael Jordan.
Hey, they could use him next year. He's going to be a free agent. They could use him, man. He's going to be a free agent, man.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
CP. I was about to say, when this season is over, no matter what happens, okay, moving forward, as soon as the season's over, they got to re-sign this guy. Talk about the perfect Tom Thibodeau type of player coming off the bench. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anyone better than him. I know he's 32, but who cares? I mean, it's not like we're going young anyway. I mean, it's just get him and give me DeMar DeRozan and let's call it a day. But anyway, just want to say you guys are doing fantastic work. The one thing I want to see from Thibs, and you can't blame Thibs. I mean, look at with the injuries, you can't single him out. All coaches make mistakes here and there. You can't, scrutinize for injuries. It happens. I mean, it's a fluke. Like Anthony, who I'm a big fan of yours as well, just said, look at what's his name, Bogdanovich. I mean, the guy was hardly playing and he got hurt. It happens. I mean, you can't predict. You can't predict it. Listen, we're winning tomorrow because I say we're winning tomorrow. That's number one. Number two, like I said, shout out to Manscaped. I don't know if I said that earlier. You know me. I'm all about the sponsors. Okay, I'm the sponsors, the fans, and the number one chat out there. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for everything you do, and I'll definitely talk with you tomorrow night.
Appreciate
after
it,
the win.
Tom
Thanks
from
again,
Huntington on the check-in. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Something he said. I don't want to think about the offseason right now, but I'm gonna bring this up for 10 seconds. I'm all about getting DeMar. Maybe like as a super sub, or even Ragu the sixth man.
Another closer.
I'm all in on DeMar.
And
having DeMar be like the third option, I'm a big DeMar guy.
What do you guys think in the chat, man? Do you want DeRozan? Misspoke on McConnell. He's not a free agent. He's got one more year on his deal, 24-25. He signed a $9.3 million. Then he's unrestricted free agent. So correction on that. But point stands. We do need a capable backup point guard to give Brunson a spell. Is Rokas Yakubaitis. We'll see what happens when he makes his way over for Summer League. Does he decide to stay or go back to Barcelona, man? Let's see. Salute to TA Cowboys in the chat. Happy birthday, representing the Knicks.
Who was remember the guy? Slavko
Vrains?
Ended up being in the Marbury trade, ironically.
Yes, Slavko Vrains.
Slavko Vranic. He was supposed to be like the next Steve Nash.
Yeah.
He never actually wore.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. He was.
He never. I don't think he ever actually came over.
He never did.
But we had his rights, but he ended up being in the Marbury trade.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to some more before we wrap. Dark Horse on the Discord. Go ahead. A long time, man. Dark Horse. Unmute your mic. Dark Horse going once. Do we have Dark Horse?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man? Long time, bro.
Hey, long time. I'm good. Rapid fire, real quick. 26-5 with OG in the lineup. Has he done enough to get a long-term extension? If so, what are we giving him?
I'm definitely giving him the extension, and I think it's going to be mid-30s. Based on everybody you've heard on this show, or you go out there and read some of the blogs and things like that, I think it's going to be mid-30s for him. I think he's getting 30s. He's going to get the bag. Then expectations start.
Yeah.
That 26-5 is all good.
I agree with CP there.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
That's when the expectations
start.
To the
number, you got to resign him.
Yeah.
For sure. But I'm just wondering if he tries to get like 40 or gets a little bit more. I think if Brunson's going to get 50, I'm not sure he's going to be comfortable with 35. I think he's going to want to get a little bit more.
Well, I don't know how his brain works, but I think he'd be okay.
Yeah.
You'd have to think.
With Sam Rose being his agent, I mean, I'm sure between him and Leon and West, they're probably like, yo, listen, Mike, we got to figure out a good number, take care of him, but we got to build also.
No doubt it'll be figured out.
They'll work it out, man. It's probably already, the framework is probably already done. I've been saying that since the trade. CEO Clue, go ahead and unmute your mic. CEO clue.
Hey, CP, this is Kyle calling back, man.
Kyle, what's up? Okay, good. Glad you were able to adjust, man. Appreciate
Going
it.
back to Phoenix, right?
Yeah, man, I'm going
Look at
back
that. See,
to Phoenix.
I'm listening.
Nice.
I'm a Queens boy, man. I came out here in first playoff game. Couldn't get anyone to come with me. I should have known the vibes were off when I got here, man. There were a lot of Knicks fans around, man. Ran into Clyde, ran into Monica, ran into Knicks fans just acting crazy all in the streets.
Nice.
But, man, it got ugly quick.
Fast.
It got ugly real quick, man. They had no energy. You could tell Jalen had no lift on his shots, no explosion. It's going to be tough. I think they're going to have to gut it out. I really think it's going to go 7. I thought they would have probably had it in 4 or 5 if they would have won game 3, but I think we're really going to have to thug it out and get it done, man. They had me waking up in the morning saying things I can't say on a family show. So anyways, you guys are doing a great job. I enjoy definitely listening to the show all the time. Y'all go ahead and support the sponsors, man. I also got some of that Mando deodorant, bourbon and leathers.
There you go.
Smells real good, my man. So I appreciate y'all, man. Have a great one. Be safe, be well. Let's go ahead and get this next game and move on, please.
Let's go, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support. Safe travels, and I'll call back anytime.
Thank you, brother.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
That's Kyle. He's out there in Phoenix by way of Queens. He's out in Indy. He's a road warrior, man. He's a road warrior. And you going on any? Are you going to Game 6?
Probably not. I'm probably gonna just manage my money for hoping we go to the next round in most likely Boston. Yes.
Okay.
I am in a little situation if the series if we advance and if it starts the 21st, my wonderful girlfriend, who's a brilliant girl, she's getting her master's degree on the 21st.
Oh, nice.
So the series ECF could start the 21st.
Yeah.
So I can't go to Boston.
Yeah. No, you got to do what you got to do, man. Education is important, and it's a big accomplishment for her. So congratulations to her for sure.
Amazing. But there is, if I did actually read something, if the Knicks end in 6 and the Celtics end in 6 or below, and the Wolves Nuggets series ends in 6 or below, the Knicks Celtics would start Saturday. Yeah, but let's just win on tomorrow first. But we'll send you what I got right here.
Okay. In the meantime, Samurai Will, go ahead and close the show for us. Samurai Will, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
You guys hear me?
Yep. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I just want to say, like, any slander on Thibs right now, I feel like people can't be hating on him. We lost 3 starters, 4 rotation players. We're on our last legs over here, and I'm so proud of the team and how hard they're fighting and competing every single day. There is just one adjustment that I do want to see Thibs make, and that is I feel like we just have to match up Indy size a little bit more, and losing OG, we lost a dude who's 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan, and I just feel like we need to
about it for a
replace
second.
that. Yeah, and I just feel like we just need to replace that with Precious, and I know Precious can't do the offensive stuff that Deuce has been doing. And Deuce was cooking last series, but just right now, he's just shooting 32%, 32 and 26, 26 from 3. And I just feel like when the Pacers have a lineup of Turner, Pascal, Nembhard, Naismith, Halliburton, that's a big lineup. And us matching them with Deuce, Brunson, Dante, Josh Hart, and I Hart, I just feel like we're a little too small at that point. And then we have Josh Hart guarding Pascal, and we're asking so much of Josh Hart right now anyway. And then for him to guard Pascal, who's 245, 25 pounds heavier than him, that's another tough ask out of him. And then that also makes our second best rebounder Dante at that point,
Yeah.
But I feel like if we have Precious guarding Pascal, just in those specific lineups, and we have Josh Hart roaming, and then we have better chance of getting the boards, because I know we gave up 4 offensive rebounds in game 3 in the last 4 minutes, and that kind of crushed us, and one led to that 30-footer by Nembhard. So that's some adjustments I like to see, but I love our guys. We're playing so hard, and I'm proud of them. And biggest game in 25 years tomorrow, and I'm all for it. And I'm riding with these guys, and Ryan with you guys too. You guys been awesome. So thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's gonna be some things that you're gonna give up, especially when you're this short-handed. I think the idea of going small is that you hope that guys like Deuce can knock down their shots, or guys like Josh Hart can grab and go. That's how he gets his boards.
Get some N1s.
Get those N1s. Yep. So, defensively, it's going to be a chore, but you're looking for more offense out there, especially when you're putting pressures on the bench for those guys. You just got to hope that it works. Yesterday, nothing seemed to work because Indiana was just bombing away, man. So, just one of those that you got to chalk up.
Granted, we may have been a little tired in that game. They're not going to shoot. It felt like Indiana. Realistically, were they shooting 70% from three in that first half? That's not gonna happen again tomorrow. There's no way it's gonna happen. And credit to them for doing it. That's not happening again.
For sure, man. For sure.
So when Turner made that shot, like the first 5 minutes, he didn't even flick his wrist. I mean, he just shot that like that, that 30-footer. I'm just like, this is
one of those nights.
It was
one of those nights, man.
We'll be ready to go tomorrow. I have no doubt about that. And fans, don't get too down, man. I understand we're upset right now, especially about Game 3, maybe Game 3 more than Game 4. But tomorrow night is what it's all about. Get ready, put those games behind us, and be ready to cheer on our guys.
Let's go. Well said. To end on that note, my guy Ant, man, great job as usual. And
thank you for having me, man. Always appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. And you did send the graphic, and I just put it up on the show. So if Boston, Cleveland, and New York, Indy both finish in 6 or fewer games, and either finishes in 6 games, and Denver, Minnesota finishes in 6 or fewer, the Eastern Conference Finals would start on Sunday, the 19th. Sunday, the 19th. And then the next one says, if Boston, Cleveland, and Knicks Pacers finishes in 7 games, or they both finish in 6 or fewer, and either finishes in 6, with Denver, Minnesota finishes in 7, Eastern Conference Finals starts on Tuesday. All right, so I think that would be the most ideal, man. Let's get Brunson some more rest.
Tuesday would be the best for the Knicks in the play.
Yes, absolutely, man. For sure, man.
For the most important hamstring in New York City right now.
Absolutely, man. Let the people know where they can find you, man, and then we'll wrap.
Hey, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Anthony MSG. Got a lot going on as always. I have to be announcing a very cool event tonight. It's actually not even basketball related. So check my Instagram tonight, Anthony MSG, if you're a baseball fan. That's all I got.
There we go, man. Great show as usual. Salute to our mods, salute to all of our producers. Remember, the KFTV watch party for Game 5 will be tomorrow, man. So go to KFTVwatch.com to get your tickets. Make sure you don't miss it. I will be in the building for sure. So looking forward to vibing with the people. And, yeah, man, keep hope alive, Knicks Nation's 2-2, even Steven. And now it's gut check time, the biggest game in 25 years, as they say. Let's see what Jalen Brunson and the Orange and Blue are made of. Remember that this show is available in audio podcast format. No reason to miss it. If you did miss it, go ahead and hit that rewind and join the replay gang, man. So to everybody on the grind, CP Anthony, we out of here. Peace.